of the courtroom under bright white light. Two plastic hearts found love at first sight. One had a bullet hole, the other had a frown. But when the trial paused, oh baby, love went down. It's hot mannequin love in the court of law. No breath, no blood, just a flawless jaw. Struck a pose and struck a spark. Made of fiberglass but lit up the dark. Hot mannequin love with the lenses askew. Who knew Exhibit A would look so into you? She leaned just right, he's sweet just so. Like Cupid fired a dart through a Velcro torso. The jury looked confused, the bailiff blushed, the stenographer typed, objection, they're flushed. Hot mannequin love, no heartbeat, no shame, but they set off fired a dart through a Velcro torso. The jury looked confused, the bailiff blushed, the stenographer typed, objection, they're flushed. Hot mannequin love, no heartbeat, no shame, but they set off fire alarms just the same. Crime scene dolls, now courtroom flames, and love so real, it should be in chains. Hot mannequin love, not illegal but true. Just don't let the judge catch them kissing in view.
Hello, everyone. Happy Thursday. Happy last day of July. Summer is flying by as usual. So unfair. I swear summer goes faster than any other season. Hope you all have had a great day. I have zero complaints. It's like 71 degrees here right now. Almost chilly. Almost. It's like the corn has stopped sweating for a minute. Thank goodness. What's up, Flash fan? I'm good. I'm good. A little chilly, like I just said. Hello, Annabelle. How are you? I hope you're getting a break from the heat as well. I don't remember if you ever said, and you don't have to if you don't want to, where you are in the world. Hello, Sharon. Good to see you. Well, Flash fan, I haven't been to the beach yet either, but that's okay. I don't really live close to a beach that I would want to go to. So there's that. And I really haven't had time, but there's also that. Just thinking I had something to say other than what we're doing. I don't. We are going to continue on with Miss Broderick. For some reason, I had in my mind that we were going to see 3 judges on the stand today. There's only 2. I don't know. I counted 3. I think it may be because there's the first judge, I think his last name is Joseph, and the second judge, his first name is Joseph. So I just probably threw a third Joseph in there for fun. Hey, old soul, how are you? Good to see you. Indiana, up north by Michigan, they have what's called the dunes, Indiana dunes, and that is like very I've never been there. I've just seen pictures from people that have been there, or commercials, what have you. That's very pretty up there, very nice. Sand, like sandy beaches. The big lake that I have around that's near me, I wouldn't call them a beach. I grew up, the lake in Nebraska that I grew up by was like 6 miles from my house. And it's a man-made lake, and they trucked in like 7 miles of white sand. So it's gorgeous, like beautiful blue water and gorgeous beaches. And then I came here and I was like, what is this? So it's very different, and it is what it is. It's not the same. So I'll just stay home. I'm fine. You only go to the beach to eat. I mean, if you're seaside, you'd get some fresh seafood. So, anyway, back to Betty. This first person that we're going to see on the stand today, I was kind of like, I don't know. If I say I was laughing, I'm not laughing at her. She's a her hair is very aggressive. She has a very aggressive late 80s, early 90s hairstyle going on. And I was just imagining comments that some of you might say, I don't know. You can decide for yourself. She is not a judge. Um, I don't know why it just strikes me as aggressive, but it does. Maybe it's I don't the color. I have no idea. So I think she may have lived with Betty. I don't know. I kind of heard just the very beginning because I was trying to make sure that I found the judges today, and she's not a judge. So I do have the sound boosted, and I have sped up just a touch because I'm not sure if we'll be able to speed it up or not. Sounds good, Flashman. I can't believe they have not come to a verdict yet in that trial. I didn't watch the trial, so maybe they are deliberating just as long as they should have. Um, but they're like approaching. Oh, they do have a verdict. Awesome. I guess. I don't know. Anyway. Ah, Annabelle. I hate that. We had some just really quick, gentle thunder showers come through this morning. Um, Nothing major. So hopefully you stay safe and they are take it easy on you this time. All right, let me know if the sound is good. And here we go. I guess you can let me know if you think I'm crazy that I think this lady's hair is aggressive.
Peredun, P-E-R-E-D-U-N.
Morning, ma'am. Did you know the lady at end of the council table, Betty Broderick?
Yes, I do.
And how did you happen to meet Mrs. Broderick?
I had placed a number of ads in local San Diego newspapers. This was in July of 1988, and she responded to the ad.
Okay. And
Should I describe the ad for you?
no, that's okay. And did you make some arrangements, living arrangements, after talking to her?
Yes, I was looking for an exchange, a situation. I needed a place for myself and my daughter. I was willing to exchange light housekeeping for a place for us. But there were no requirements. Betty did not have any requirements for me to do. It was more of a, she just allowed us to come and live there with her.
Did you know the reason why she allowed that?
No, Oliver was gonna ask that, yes or no?
Yes,
And what was that?
she loved children. She told me she loved children. She recognized that I had a need. And more than anything, I believe she wanted companionship. She didn't want to be alone in her home.
And do you remember when you met her?
Yes.
And when was that?
It was the first week of August in 1988.
Okay. And what was your relationship with Mrs. Broderick after you met her?
It remained a friendship, a companionship.
Did anyone else live there with you?
My daughter, occasionally the boys would come. Occasionally her daughters, well, Kim had gone off in September to university, and Lee, after a point, came to live there in the home also.
Did now, did she do anything to help with the care of your daughter? The did you Did she have any regular habits in the morning that you would see?
Well, I could tell that Betty had always been up before I was up. I like to stay up late. I do my work and reading then, and I would recognize that when I woke up in the morning that the kitchen, for example, was not in the same state as it was when I left it. My bedroom was beside the garage, so I would often hear the truck leave in the morning while I was still in bed. And Betty drove my daughter to school.
Sustained.
Can I continue?
No, we'll let him ask you another question.
Did you observe any legal papers in her house?
Oh, yes, there were volumes of papers.
Okay, could you give us a general idea of what it was like?
Betty's dining room table, for example, it was a very long table that would probably seat me, I would say, a dozen people. It looked like one of these tables here without the tall binders. There were piles of papers there. Her kitchen counter was as large as one of these tables here, also had piles of papers, envelopes. She had a room that was off the kitchen. It was sort of a little den, music room, and this had boxes, at least a dozen boxes on the floor, full of papers that had been filed, like files, everything alphabetical.
Would you be around when she was preparing for court hearings?
Yes.
Okay. And how would she respond generally about going to court?
Generally, it was not a happy response. It was, the times were not, they were not happy emotionally. In that sense, there was a lot of anxiety. She was very depressed. She told me she did not know like what to expect, what would he pull this time, sort of a thing. So this was early on, I would say August, September. By the time I left in December, and I know she was coming up she was going to trial again. Her mood was a bit more.
Sustained.
Did her mood change at all by the time December rolled around of '88?
It seemed a bit more positive.
Okay, thoughts on your witness. So your witness. Sorry, if you have a witness, let me know. This witness. Bad pause, lady. Sorry. She seems very, very well rehearsed, very prepared, I guess. I don't know that I believe her. I get that she's there for Betty, and maybe they had a great friendship. She feels like she owes Betty something, or she's just trying to help her. I don't know. But it's like, the vibe I get off of her is she's just too prepared in her answers. But can I finish? That's always funny when they ask the judge. No. I don't know. What do you guys feel about it? I'll learn how to speak before the end of the stream. Maybe. I promise nothing. Okay, maybe it's maybe it's her hair. I don't know. She seems angry, almost mean, but you'd have to be being friends with Betty. You don't want a witness that's not good? Well, I don't want a witness that's not good. I'm not saying she's good or bad. For me, if I had to sit there and judge her testimony so far, she may change my mind. It seems weird. What's up, Kelly? Your whoa is for the hair, isn't it? Kelly, I hope you are feeling better and getting healed up from your fall. And please, no more. No more. My goodness. Hope your bruises are getting better. Those were horrible. Even the makeup is aggressive. I guess it's her look. I'm not saying anything about how she's physically made, but her hair, her makeup, things that she's in control of look very aggressive. That's all I'm saying. I will be quiet now.
positive, maybe more hopeful.
The, did you did you have the opportunity to observe Mrs. Broderick make preparations for visits with her children, boys?
Oh, certainly.
Okay, and what type of things would she do?
She would stock up the pantry, the fridge. She would buy like hundreds of dollars worth of groceries. She would plan events for them. She would take care of their any type of needs that would come up. She would organize, for example, visits to SeaWorld, check movies, events like this. She would attend to all of their needs and try to make it an interesting weekend or visit.
Now, how would you describe her general mood? This is from most of the time you were there.
Her general mood. Well, it was not constant. It fluctuated from periods of anxiety when it was court-related, when something was happening in that sense, but her mood would swing up when the boys, in anticipation of the boys coming or when they were there.
Now, you indicated that sometimes she was depressed. Was there anything that you would observe about what she would do? She want to be around people, not be around people when she was in that mood?
Well, Betty spent a lot of time in her room. I know that she read a lot of books and magazines, and she would spend a lot of time alone. Could you ask that again? Could you ask me that again, please?
Did well, let me go to another question. Would her mood generally be different when she knew that the boys were going to be there?
Oh, certainly.
Sustained, but the answer can stand.
Did was it tend to be better or worse than her general mood?
Sustained.
Would she always know when the boys were going to visit?
Objection calls for speculation.
Sustained.
Okay. You were living in the house, weren't you?
Yes.
Okay. And so, would you be present when plans were made for when the boys were going to be there or not?
Yes.
And did she always know when the boys were going to visit?
No.
Were there times when she would find out would there be times when you would be aware that the boys were coming for a visit?
Yes, I would be aware of that.
Okay. Would sometimes those plans change at the last minute?
Certainly.
Objection calls for hearsay.
Overruled. See if she has any personal knowledge of this. Go ahead. Do you know if it changed at the last minute?
Certainly, they did. Being there, I was able to listen to phone.
Who was she giving that look to? Because she was not, I think the state would be more in front of her when she just gave that look like, what's happening? Why can't I answer this question? Like, okay, calm down. I have a question for her though. Did Betty know where her kids were when she bumped her car into the front door? Asking for a friend.
Conversations. I took messages. I passed these on to Betty. She would tell me her mood would change. You couldn't deny that there was something going on. Sometimes it would be a last moment notice that the boys were coming. Sometimes it would be a last moment notice that the boys were not coming. There were occasions where after having made plans, that the fridge would remain full and we would even have to throw things out.
And when the boys wouldn't come, how would that affect Betty emotionally?
Well, it would make her very depressed. She would be angry at Dan and depressed.
Did you ever know when you were living there, Mrs. Broderick, to cancel plans that she had at the last minute if she was to learn the boys were coming?
Okay, as far as specific plans, I would have to say I was uncertain of specific plans, but I do know that she would have to be very cautious about making plans in the event that she would not be there if the chance came for her to have the boys.
Okay. Was there at any time where you saw her cancel a trip or going somewhere with somebody at the last minute?
Sustained.
You knew Brad Wright, is that correct?
True.
Was there any time she canceled something with Brad Wright at the last minute?
I cannot say the specific place they were going to go to, but I do recall that that they could not confirm plans. I recall that they were talking about it in my presence, wanting to go away, but Betty's hesitation stopped them from going in the event that the boys could come for that weekend.
Were you present when the boys would go home?
Oh, sure, yes.
Okay. And what would, when it was time approaching to go home, what would the attitudes of them and their mother be?
Well, it would change. You could feel the air becoming more depressed and quiet. The boys, all of a sudden, would just become so sullen and quiet. Even though they would say, "Mommy, can't we stay? We wish we could stay." As soon as Dan came to the house, they knew that there was nothing. It's as though they realized there was nothing they could do. They just all of a sudden they became like little. I believe last time I used the term little soldiers, and I'll repeat that. They just did what they were supposed to do.
Okay. Would you hear sometimes the answer phone messages left by the boys?
Yes.
And what kind of things would you hear on the message machine to Betty from her children?
Sustained at this point.
Were there messages that you would hear?
Okay, she's definitely looking at the prosecutor. That pause face I got her on this time is perfect because that's the face she keeps giving the prosecutor anytime that the prosecutor objects and she doesn't get to answer. It's hilarious. And why did she look her fingers a second ago like she was turning a page? You have no papers up there, woman. What are you doing? She's just a little strange.
Hear that that would be left on the answering machine and that the defendant would get, that Elizabeth Broderick would get.
Would I hear the message? I would hear Rhett talking, making the message. Like I would be right there. The phone rang, and I would be listening to him putting the message on the machine.
Okay.
It wouldn't.
And what kind of message? What?
Well, she asked her if the defendant got the message, Mr. Early, then go on.
Would this be a message that Elizabeth Broderick got?
Oh, certainly. And she asked me to listen to the messages and relay them to her. This was one of the things that I did for her.
Okay. And what was what could you describe the message?
There was one in particular that was very heart-wrenching. Rhett was just pleading on the phone, "Mommy, Mommy, where are you? Where are you? Please pick up the phone. I'm alone. Can I come over?" And it was very sad to see him. It wasn't just as brief as that. It went on and on. He was very sad. He didn't want to be there alone, and he wanted his mother.
Did you ever hear Betty use profanity?
Sure.
Okay. Was that, how would you describe it? Was that something that she was using 100% of the time, often, not often?
No. Seldom, if ever, and provoked. When she did, it was because she was provoked.
Did she ever use profanity around the boys?
Only, I will say seldom, if ever again, when she was provoked. If the topic of the conversation was the divorce or Dan.
Okay. Other than those, as you say, seldom, was the rest of the time, did she seem to be appropriate around the children?
Oh, certainly, yes.
Did Betty socialize a lot?
Well, I was not part of her social circle, so all that I could tell you would be what I saw around the home, really.
Okay. Did she, for instance, at the time you were there, did she ever throw a party, have people?
She had one party that I recall, yes.
Okay, and what did she do during that party?
I found her sitting in the dark living room alone while her house was full of dozens of people, very actively, loud, having fun in the kitchen, the dining area. and on the balcony, and I was walking through not that immediate area, but the area next to it, and then I walked into the living room, and I saw Betty sitting there in the dark, alone.
Did you, did you move out of her house and back to, you live in Canada now, is that correct?
Right now, yeah.
Did you move back to Canada sometime in 1988?
I moved there about 4 days before Christmas in 1988. Yeah.
I have no further questions, John.
Cross-examine.
Good morning, Miss. It's Paradin?
Yes.
Paradin. You lived with Elizabeth Broderick from August of 1988 to December of 1988, is that correct?
From the beginning of August to just about the end of December, correct.
So we're talking about a 4-month period of time in late
August,
1988.
September, October, December, closer to 5 months.
And you left right before Christmas,
Correct.
And you said at that time when you left right before Christmas that Elizabeth Broderick seemed fairly up and more positive than usual.
I didn't say that exactly. I said she appeared more optimistic, but it was in regard, I believe, we were discussing the trial at that time.
And it seemed that she appeared more positive, and this was right before Christmas and right before the trial, correct?
I would say yes.
And you also indicated that the boys, during the period of time that you were there, the boys were with her as often as they were not, correct?
I said that before, first time I came up for the question.
Right, yeah, during the time that you've already indicated that during the time that you lived there, that the kids were probably there as often as they weren't, correct?
Yes, I believe that would be.
So they were there on a fairly regular basis during that period of time.
Well, right off, let me clarify. They went to school all week. She did not have them during the week. I'm referring to weekends. They were there. She probably had them every other week. So referring to weekends only, she had them as often as she didn't have them.
And were you aware that there was an agreed upon, an informal agreed upon arrangement for her to have the children every other week? And that was consistent with what you're testifying that she had.
At the time, I was not aware that there was any agreement. This, I believe, this is one of the reasons that Betty was going to court was to get the child custody finalized.
Right, which she did after January of 1989. But before that, as you've indicated, she was having them on a fairly regular basis every other week.
But it wasn't anything absolutely regular. It only happened to end up that way.
When you lived with her there, was Maria Montez still living with her?
No, Maria was not living there.
You indicated that you applied to live there in order to exchange light housekeeping duties. Is that correct?
That was what I had mentioned in the advertisement, yes.
Did you exchange light housekeeping duties? Did you do some light housekeeping duties there for her?
I acted on my own initiative. I washed dishes after our meals primarily. I did no more than that. When I found that there was something I could do to be helpful to Betty, then I helped her just out of a sense of wanting to help her. Nothing was absolutely definitive what I had to do.
And you've previously indicated that when you lived there at her home in Calle de Cielo, that it was a beautiful home that she had, correct?
I don't recall saying it quite like that, but it was a lovely home.
And you, during the entire time that you were there, the 4 to 5 months that you were there, there were only 2 instances in which she went to court, correct?
I recall 2 instances that she went to court. There could have been, I'm not certain, but there were 2 that I recall that she went to court.
Do you recall being asked that specific question before? How many times did she go to court during the period of time that you were there?
I recall being asked that, and I recall saying that there were 2 instances that I recall that she went.
And during that period of time, also, you don't recall her receiving any legal documents during that period of time, correct?
Well, she had documents in her possession. Obviously, she must have received them somehow.
But I'm asking about during the time that you were there, for the 4 or 5 months you were there, you never recalled her receiving any documents during that period of time, correct?
Sure, she had new documents. Is this what you're implying, whether new documents came into her possession during that period that I was there?
Yes, I recognize you said that she had old documents there.
I didn't say whether they're old or new. No one has asked me this question yet.
Okay,
Sharon. Both, I think. Those are definitely 2 strands of hair there, because I had to look too to make sure that I wasn't confusing those with her like furrowing her brow. So I'm yes, the answer is yes to both things, I think. But yeah, and why'd they just zoom in on that poor deputy? He's just trying to stay awake. Like, that was weird. It feels like a weird court day for some reason. I don't know why. Probably won't be.
Were you asked before whether you were ever around when she received papers from the court? And your answer was that you were not aware of that.
I was not aware of how she received the papers. I remember being asked whether the papers came in the mail. And that was what I was saying I was unaware of, the process of how she actually got them. But she did have papers. She was getting new papers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you there when she actually received the papers?
I would see Betty sitting there reading through new papers, and she would share with me the latest, the latest court thing going on.
For example?
For example, they were going to be going in again for more child custody. She would tell me that, let me try to recall.
Did you see a particular paper that had to do with that? Did you search on her?
I can't tell you numbers of documents or anything, no, but I recall seeing Betty sitting and reading them, and she would tell me the gist of what they were about.
She told you, didn't she, that when she went to court on those two instances that she was frustrated because her attorney backed out each time she showed up at court?
I believe she was frustrated before she went to court because, as far as I understand it, the attorneys backed out before she went to court, as in the day before or the night before she went to court. All of a sudden, she was without representation.
And that's what she was indicating to you was occurring in 1988, that before she went to these two court appearances, that her attorneys backed out on her the day before or the morning.
This is my understanding that this is what happened.
Were you aware at the time that she was voluntarily not represented by an attorney at that time?
But am I unaware that she was not represented by an attorney?
Yes, that she had fired her last attorney months and months before, and that she was representing herself during that period.
Well, but if she had fired one, obviously she must have had one.
No, she was representing her, well, it was your understanding that she had an attorney then in
Correct.
December of 1988.
Yes.
And you were not aware of the fact that she did not have an attorney, that she was representing herself at that time.
What time in '88 though?
During the time that you were there, during August through December of 1988.
Okay, December '88. I know she was talking to an attorney. As a matter of fact, she was talking to an attorney the afternoon that I was leaving. I didn't even get to give her a hug goodbye or anything. She was on the phone, and I knew it was an important phone call. I assumed she was discussing her upcoming trial with this attorney. Perhaps I also assumed that because she was talking to an attorney, that this attorney might represent her.
Okay, so it was your assumption at that time.
We have a roommate of Betty, Daddy Short, with very aggressive hair and very aggressive makeup. And she does not like when the state objects to her questioning. Also, hello. Yeah, she's every time I say aggressive, I keep hearing that cheerleader cheer, be aggressive, be aggressive. That wasn't cheerleader. That's why I can't do it. But I still hear it.
Actually was represented for that particular instance, but accounting for her disappointment in that all of a sudden she has no attorney, that would lead me to assume that she had an attorney until they, for whatever reason,
Well, let me ask you then, when she went to court, you said you recall her going to court on two instances.
correct.
And that when she came back, she was upset because she told you that her attorney backed out on her.
No, not when she came back from the court, before she went to the court.
Before she
went to the court.
She said that the attorney had called that morning or the night before and backed out on her?
This is what I understand happened. Yes.
You indicated that there were a lot of legal papers in the house.
Correct.
Were you aware of, did you look at any of those papers? Were those papers that came from 1985, 1986,
No,
1987, 1988?
It was not my business to look through there. If there was something Betty asked me maybe to put away for her, I would put it in the appropriate box in the appropriate alphabetical order. But as far as me actually leafing through it, it was not I did not do that. It was not my
So you're not,
Please.
you don't know even whether these papers were copies that she made herself of documents, or what sorts of documents they were, or whether they went back for a period of years and she just kept them all, correct?
I do not know. Well, I don't know whether they were copies, and I don't know the dates. Correct.
And she did appear anyway to keep things for long periods of time. She kept every letter, every piece of paper that she'd had from 1985, from 1986, from 1987, from 1988.
Yes, she kept, I think, a pretty thorough record of her legal papers, so I would assume anyone would.
And she had a complete filing system that she had there. She showed you where she had documents of all of the newspaper articles regarding Dan and Linda, correct?
Well, if you can call boxes a filing system, these were boxes, and she had manila folders, and things would be labeled, and boxes would have names on them.
And did she have a folder that had to do with all the newspaper articles that dealt with Dan and Linda?
I don't recall seeing a particular folder about that, but I do recall seeing clippings. I do recall seeing clippings, newspaper clippings, that did have to do with Dan and Linda, yes.
And you have indicated that you felt that to Elizabeth Broderick, her social status was very important.
Yes.
And you've also indicated that during the time that you lived there with her, she was very active. She was involved in numerous activities at the time, correct?
I don't recall saying that she was very active.
Do you recall saying that she needed help when you came to work for her because she belonged to various social groups, charities, clubs?
I don't recall saying that. Do you have this documented that I could look at that so I would see?
If I can look for it, see if I can find it. You recall saying she needed various help around the house and some babysitting as she belonged to various charities and social groups.
Okay, well, that's not quite what you just.
If you take a look at report, page 2, dated. Appears to be undated by investigator Peter Bunn.
Oh, so this is not something I said in court. This was something that I was asked in a telephone conversation?
But, excuse me, by an investigator, yes.
Okay, well, I wanted to clarify that because I don't remember saying this.
Okay, if you just take a look at, read that to yourself to see if that refreshes your recollection.
Okay, true. That is the indication that I got from Betty. That would relate more to our telephone conversations before I even met Betty.
And that was that she was looking for someone to provide her with some more help around the house and some babysitting because she was so involved in various social groups and charities, correct?
I would have to say that's correct.
During the time that you were living there, was she dating Brad Wright to your knowledge?
I know I could say that they were friends. I would call it companions. As far as dating, getting dressed up, going out in each other's company, I would think once or twice that I can recall them actually going out as a couple, but they spent a lot of time in each other's company around the home.
And you indicated that you were aware of at least some trips that they were planning to take together, is that correct?
There were times at weekends where they had discussed possibly going away, but as far as absolute like destinations of places, events, I'm not familiar with that. I couldn't.
At this party that she had, was Brad right there?
I don't remember seeing Brad.
How many people were at the party?
She didn't Betty say she kept Brad a secret because of the age difference between them? I cannot. This woman gives you all the pause game. Well, I don't even need to be on the pause game tonight because she helps me. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, she looks like a weird Joker version thing. I don't know. But yeah, be honest, lady, she hid Brad. She didn't want anybody to know she was dating Brad because of the age difference. She was embarrassed. Nowadays, she would have flaunted him all over the place. Either way is fine. Do what you want to do. As long as they're legal. It's fine. Yes, the Joker from Batman. Like almost like the Jack Nicholson version. Sorry, Jack. I don't know. Okay. Get this woman off stand so we can get to the judges. Bring on the judges. Brad is a cornstarve warrior. Probably back then he probably was. Yeah, but she would have had him all over her socials. He would have been everywhere. She would have just been flaunting him around because she got a younger man. Back then she was embarrassed. It's like, you do you, Betty. It's fine. It's fine. How you doing, Puddletown? Oh my gosh. It was the ventriloquist dummy on the stand. Everybody's had a reaction to her. I feel bad. I had one myself, so it's just that kind of a face. And that's a good one. That was a good one. This is Betty's one. She was a roommate of Betty's, Puddletown. She lived with Betty from August to the end of December. 1988, maybe, when Betty was going through her divorces. She's very rehearsed, very, very prepared. She doesn't like it when she gets objected to. And I'm ready for her to be done so we can get to the judges. Yes, Merry Christmas, Flashpan.
I would say that there were at least 24. I would say dozens of people, just by looking at the heads, and maybe just if I could roughly count the heads in here. I mean, the kitchen was full. There were people on the balcony. There
Is
has
this
to
a
have
party
been
that you were invited to?
Betty told me that I could come. I was dressed up. I was looking forward to meeting with some people. But when I approached the kitchen to enter, I didn't recognize anyone. I didn't recognize Betty, and I didn't want to enter alone. So I walked around the house to see if I could see Betty, and this is when I came upon her in the living room, sitting there alone.
And did you have a conversation with her at the time?
Yes.
What did she say?
I asked her what she was doing there, how come she wasn't with her friends, and she said she basically didn't feel like it.
You indicated that you never, or seldom if ever, she used profanity in front of you. When she
Spot
talked to
on.
Dan or Linda?
No, I said seldom in front of the children.
Okay, so she used it often.
Oh my.
No. No more than normal. I mean, how can you, I would say seldom if ever, again, would be a safe way for me to.
Seldom if ever used profanity around you when she talked about Dan and Linda.
Yes,
It was clear to you
Liar.
that she hated Dan and Linda.
certainly.
And so that was clear to you from the language that she used and the tone of language that she used and the things that she said.
From the language she used, the tone, the things she said. Okay, that's acceptable.
And it was clear to you that
She's lying. She's lying. Betty couldn't even keep what she referred to Linda as as I'll say it as Shinny will say it. The see you next Tuesday spelled with a K. And oops, Dan. Don't he was the mother effer? The dumb mother effer? I don't know. Something like along that line. She never referred to them as Dan and Linda. She left, the 45-minute rant whenever she heard that to her son. Like, please. She's the doll from Annabelle. Oh man. Good to see the Crypt Keeper got work after the HBO series ended. And got younger. Yes, Betty cussed more than most sailors. Yes. She's lying so bad right now. It's like, lady, they've already heard Betty's testimony. Come on. I'm just gonna leave her here and we'll just let people come in and be like, who is this? Because everybody has a different version. Who is this? Corella DeVille? Possibly. Possibly. This is Hi Bri, by the way. Good to see you. This is Betty's roommate. And she just said that Betty always says that, or she just said Betty was never cussed when she referred to Dan and Linda, which we know from Betty's own testimony that's just not true. Also, I was wanting the state to ask her if she was invited to the party because I didn't figure she probably was invited to the party. I figured she had to stay in her room that night. And I really thought that's where she was going. She was great as a secretary in Ghostbusters. Oh, I'm glad I reread that, Peltown, because I thought you said Lucille Ball as a bartender. I was like, hey, don't insult Lucille Ball, but on a bender, yeah, I'll give you that one. Man. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't have anything else. I'm trying to be nice. I'm failing. Just like her testimony.
That her hate for Dan and Linda was shared with the children when they were over there.
You have to, can you say that?
She talked about her hate for Dan and Linda in front of the boys as well, didn't she?
Everyone talked about their hate for Dan and Linda. I mean, the boys spoke of it, Betty spoke of it. It wasn't something that they constantly spoke about.
She even talked about wanting to kill him or wanting him to be dead in front of the boys, didn't she?
Everyone in that family mentioned that at some
Mrs.
point.
Perry, could you answer that question? Did Elizabeth Broderick talk about wanting him to be dead during that period of time in front of the boys?
Yes, she said it, but I would like to clarify that. And then she would follow with, could you please pass the chicken? Or it was something said so casually. It was not.
Do you recall indicating that you felt that even you felt uncomfortable about that? That even you got involved in conversations like that and afterwards you felt bad about talking about wanting their father to die?
No, I didn't feel uncomfortable about that. Or
were you, you were not aware of the situation that led up to how the boys got into Dan Broderick's custody in the first place, correct? She didn't describe that for you.
well, whether I heard part of it through Betty's conversations with me, whether I have now part of it, whether part of it has entered my awareness through the newspapers or whatever, that part is now a little bit confused. I cannot say specifically how I came about that information, but it would be safe to assume that Betty first told me about that.
You were aware that at the time of the separation, that the children were originally with Dan Broderick.
No, I'm not aware of that.
Excuse me, that the children were originally with Elizabeth Broderick.
Okay, that, yes.
And there came a point when she took the children over to Dan Broderick's house.
I have an objection as irrelevant.
Sustained.
Well,
It's beyond the scope.
were you ever around, you were there in 1988, were you ever aware of any statements that she had made to the boys in 1985 or 1986 or 1987 about being embarrassed or being angry at them when they would say something nice about their father?
Your Honor, objection beyond the scope.
Yeah, that's.
It's not beyond overruled chance, but you're making statements to that
Were you
effect?
aware of any statements that she made to that effect?
Your Honor, it calls for hearsay, and it's irrelevant as to whether she's aware of it or not.
If I-
Well,
May I
no,
proceed?
no, it's proper.
I like how this
Could you
lady,
ask me again? Could you
Were you
repeat that?
aware of any statements that she had
She's
made
an
in
attorney now.
1985, 1986, 1987?
yes.
About being too embarrassed to talk to them because they lived with their father, about wanting them to do violent things to Dan or Linda, about calling them wimps if they wouldn't run away from their dad, about getting angry at them if they said that they loved their dad or they had
Your Honor,
anything fun.
Sustained. You phrased the question wrong this time as well.
I would answer no.
Your Honor, and I would like the admonishment that the district attorney asked for.
If I could approach sidebar, I'd
But
like
just a minute, let's take the morning recess. It's time for the morning recess.
He's like,
Ladies and gentlemen,
I
we'll be in
need
recess
out
until
of
5 minutes
here.
after the 11. Please remember the admonition not to discuss the case among yourselves. Let anyone else discuss it with you. Or form any opinions until it's finally submitted to you. See you at 5 after 11.
You too, Gabby.
You indicated, Mr. Chair,
Good to see you. You're missing the most aggressive makeup and hair on the planet on the stand right now. That's a crime in itself. We shall have a trial next week. Bring this woman back. That's it. Also, she turned into an attorney all of a sudden. Yes, she has awesome faces. Yes, throw your shoes quickly. Drive thigh high, Gabby. Okay. Just done. He's so done. Gabby throws a shoe back. In a loving way. I have to give you the admonition not to talk to talk about this case or this witness's crazy hair, facial expressions, and makeup. Whoops. I would, this lady is probably hot when she is drunk. I would take when she is, change that she, and change it to when you are drunk. Then she might be hot. Maybe. Somebody's going to say I'm being mean. Well. Nobody here.
And that there was a period of time when Lee was actually living there in the house with Mrs. Broderick. Okay, and for how long a period of time is that?
I would say for at least 2 months, the last 2 months while I was there.
So she was still living there when you left in December of 1988?
Yes,
And it was obvious to you that the boys loved their mother.
sure,
And obviously they wanted to have her love and attention in return.
certainly.
And obviously they wouldn't want to do anything that would put, where she would withdraw that love from them. Is that fair to say?
Fair to say.
And it's also true that you never saw the boys interact with their father outside the presence of the defendants. You were never.
True.
Redirect? No. Witness be excused? Thank you very much, ma'am, for your leave.
No redirect? It's a Christmas miracle.
Times
Hi,
like this, I
ladies.
wish somebody else was the judge because while we were in recess, the next witness is, we're going to have to make some legal rulings before we get to the next witness. We're going to have to take matters up out of your presence. So after that recess, I'm going to excuse you early for lunch. I'm not sure how long this matter is going to take, so I will give you a little longer for lunch. We won't resume until about 2 o'clock this afternoon. I tell you that so that if you want to return to your place of business or residence, you'd have time to do that. Had I known before we took the recess that their further questions were going to be so brief, I wouldn't have bothered taking the recess, but I'm not a mind reader. So I apologize to you for the inconvenience, but it is necessary that we take up a matter outside your presence. We'll be in recess for the lunch hour until 2 o'clock this afternoon. Please remember the admonition. We'll see you at 2 o'clock. Matter of the people of the state of California versus Broderick. Court finds all members of the jury panel are present. All counsel are present. Mrs. Broderick is present. I apologize profusely, ladies and gentlemen, for keeping you down there. This is taking longer than I expected. It is probably going to take a little while longer to where it wouldn't be beneficial to keep you here the rest of the afternoon because I don't think there'd be enough time for you to hear enough testimony to make it worthwhile having you stick around. For that reason, we'll recess as far as you're concerned for the remainder of the day. And I'd ask you to remember the admonition, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. And I apologize very sincerely for inconveniencing you today the way you've been inconvenienced. And I'm sorry. We'll recess.
Anthony C. Joseph, Joseph.
Sir, what is your occupation?
I'm a judge of the Superior Court.
In 1987, were you hearing the matter of Broderick versus Broderick, a divorce or dissolution matter?
Yes, I was.
And
We get
when you
two
were
of
first
them.
assigned the case, were you able to review the whole court file?
I believe so. It's been a while, and I'm not sure the entire court file was there, but if not, I think virtually all the file was there at the first review.
Do you remember testifying at the last trial that that you were not able to review it and that you would search for the file?
Yes, I do. If you want a narrative, I'll explain to you. If not, I'll be glad to answer your questions one at a time.
Was there something that's happened that's refreshed your memory?
Partially reading the transcript of the last hearing and also a deeper review of some transcripts than I was able to do before my testimony at the last trial.
Okay. So you were able to see that at the first hearing that you had the whole court file, is that correct? Or pretty much.
Mr. Early, I think I had most of the court file prior to the first hearing that was held.
Okay.
I can't tell you whether I had all of it or not. I don't know.
At some point in time, now after you received the case, did the court file remain in your, at least in your department?
It should have, but I don't know whether it did or not.
Okay. So it would have been in your department, at least at that point, not open to the public, is that correct?
That's correct.
At some point in time, did the file become lost?
Some portion of the file definitely became lost.
You're aware that the file ended up being 8 volumes?
Objection, Your Honor, that misstates the evidence. I assume facts on evidence.
Well, so Stan, just rephrase it.
Okay, were you aware that eventually the size of the court file?
No. I mean, eventually, you're talking about at the time of trial?
Yes.
No.
At some point in time, did you become aware that the file was missing?
I became aware that major portions of the file were missing.
And at some point in time, did you have the file get some information or have the file reconstructed in any manner?
I don't believe so.
Did you become aware at some point in time, I take it that throughout these.
Fuddled. Brandon, how are you? Other than I won't read that. I hope you are. Thank you for the super chat, number one. Most importantly, are you getting better? Please say yes. That's the only answer I will accept. I hope you're feeling better, Brandon. You've been gone too long. Well, if it must be worse, as long as getting better is still coming. I just want you to be better. Thank you, Bry. He gifted a membership to Christy Robinson. Congratulations, Christy. Thank you, Bry. Brandon, do whatever you have to do to get better. So you can come back and give me a hard time. And you just missed like the best witness. You would have had a field day with her. We did. We had a lot of fun. I mean, I know this guy on the stand right now looks like he's just like nonstop entertainment at a party. And, you know, he is the life of the party. He is the party. You can tell by the look on his face. Although I can't imagine being a judge getting questioned at this trial. Like, why am I here? Which judge is regretting their decision to become a judge more? The judge that is presiding or this judge on the stand? Whew. I hope so, Brandon. I really do. Been thinking about you, and just keep us posted, will you? Just so we know. Make me worry about you. It's not fair. I mean, I still will, but it's okay. It's okay. If Debbie Downer was a guy, You think he drinks old fashions? I bet he drinks. I don't know. I think maybe just straight whiskey. He's like, I don't like it, but I'll drink it. It's like, just makes me miserable. Makes me smile. And then he can't. He's like, I am smiling. I'm smiling right now.
Proceedings, the contempt part of the file, you always had. The allegations of contempt and the restraining orders.
Yes.
So those parts of the file, to your memory, were always, you've always had?
Upon the filing of a motion rate contempt, it was the practice of Mr. Broderick's attorney to attach to each motion the prior orders and the prior injunctions in part, so that as the filing came in, you had the background in regard to the contempt, and the file that was ongoing, the piece that we had, contained much of that material, not all.
Okay, so when the file became lost, it became through the course of the litigation reconstructed because they were filing back pleadings and back orders.
It became partially reconstructed.
Did you at some point in time make a search for the file that was missing?
Yes.
Were you able to ever locate that file?
No.
yourself? And did you send memos to the presiding judge about that? You can recall?
I don't recall.
I have no further questions.
Cross-examine.
Good morning, Judge Joseph.
Good morning.
When you were originally assigned to the case of Broderick versus Broderick, were you assigned to it for all purposes?
Yes.
And then is it correct to say that one of the first duties that you had was in relation to a contempt hearing?
I believe so.
And then you presided over a series of 4 contempt hearings, is that correct?
At least 4.
And your recollection is that when you were first assigned to the case, that at least your feeling was that you had the entire file, or what appeared to be the entire file.
I had what appeared to be the entire file. I spent a considerable amount of time going through the file, I believe before the first hearing. And at that time, I thought I had the full file.
Now, when someone files a contempt action, obviously they have to file pleadings that go along with that. Is that correct?
Yes.
And that's where they file documents where they're making the allegations of what they are alleging the contempt to be, and where they also file the supporting documents that refer to, for example, the restraining order, the existence of the restraining order, and the fact that it had been served on the defendant, etc. Is that?
In general, that's correct. The document that leads to a contempt hearing is a form.
See you, Gabby. See you on Monday. Have a good weekend. I've got cooler weather here, so you should have some heading your way. Hope is on its way. Oh, look at that. He has expression. Whew. He has some eyebrows on him, too. Like woolly caterpillars that come out right before fall. At least where I live. Bye, AJ. Bye. The woolly caterpillars that come out around fall are supposed to predict what kind of winter we're going to have. They have yet to get one right. Yes, they are. Oops. He looks more like a urologist than a judge. Maybe that's his side gig. So he does at night while he reads briefs. Does his urologist thing. I'm going to hit play now because I don't know where I'm going.
That's used throughout the state of California. There's substantial blanks to be filled in. But you begin with that form, and then the attachments are up to the attorney to file if they choose.
Okay. And then once those documents are filed with the court, then a date for the contempt hearing is set, and you have an actual hearing. Is that
Yes,
correct?
That's correct.
And when you make a decision on whether or not someone is found in contempt, you make that decision based on the evidence that you hear. You have an evidentiary hearing. Is
That's
that correct? And that means that witnesses testify.
Sometimes.
And in this particular case, in each of the contempt hearings, is it not true?
Your Honor,
Elizabeth-
objection, this is beyond the scope of direct.
Sustained.
Okay. Now, when you were originally assigned the case, you were located physically in this courtroom, is that correct?
In this courthouse,
Not
yes.
courtroom, you're right,
Yeah.
yes.
I
San
think it was
Diego.
actually 2 floors below this courtroom, if I understand where I am.
Sometimes we all get lost getting here. But you were in this courthouse,
Yes.
downtown San Diego courthouse.
That's
Now,
correct.
sometime in between the first contempt hearing and your ultimate last contempt hearing, the case got transferred up to Vista, is that correct?
That's correct.
And also, was there some hearings in between there where you were at the Claremont courthouse?
No, yes, the juvenile courthouse, which is, I guess, on Claremont or close to it.
Okay, so there were some hearings downtown, then there were some hearings in that courthouse, then there were some hearings up in the Vista courthouse.
I think there was one hearing at the juvenile court, that's my memory.
Okay, and so obviously when you are going to other courthouses, those documents or the files have to be transferred along with you, is that correct?
Well, that's what we hope and expect, but I'm not sure that's what happened.
Is it not true that it is common, or not necessarily uncommon, for files to get misplaced, files to get lost, or portions of files to get lost?
It does happen.
And in fact, it often happens, the documents that should go into one file end up being in another file.
That also happens on occasion.
Okay. Who is actually, do you know who is actually even responsible for transferring a file? If you get transferred up to Vista, who makes sure that the file gets up to Vista, or how they do it?
I don't think I could give you the names of the individuals who are responsible. My court clerk in whichever department I'm sitting in takes the responsibility to bring whatever files are necessary from other courthouses and get them to my courtroom for the hearings that are coming up. And
In between a hearing, for example, if you have a hearing in 1987 on a contempt, and then there's not another hearing that's filed until 1988, that court file doesn't stay in your courtroom, does it? It goes back to the court records.
that's usually correct.
Okay, so there's also a transfer of documents from the courtroom to court records, and then if there's going to be another hearing, someone from court records has to get the documents back to the courtroom wherever it may be.
That's right.
And if there is a file, as counsel indicated, there were more than one volume of this particular file, is that
Yes.
correct? And there's no set rule on when you start a new file, like if it gets to be 50 pages, then you start to file number 2.
There's no set rule that I'm aware of. There may well be one within our administrative structure, but I don't know how it works. When the files begin to overflow, they start volume 2.
Okay. And do you know if there's any procedure, any set procedure of how they necessarily keep all those volumes together?
I'm not familiar with that.
Were you familiar at all with when portions of the file were discovered at one point, whether or not there was any difference between that file and the file that you originally had when you started on it?
I don't think I can answer that question because in thinking back, I don't recall that I ever had a reconstructed file when the file went to another judge.
Okay. Obviously, there came a point then after you had dealt with some of the contempt hearings where the case got transferred to another judge.
Yes,
Okay. And that was transferred again to even another courtroom, the family law court building, is that correct?
I believe so. I'm not sure.
When you were assigned to the case originally, is it not true that was because a prior judge, Judge Murphy, had been challenged?
He either had been challenged or he chose to remove himself from the file. And again, I'm not clear. I don't recall what happened.
Okay. When you had the contempt hearings, well, let me just ask you this question. Were you ever a close personal friend of Dan Broderick's?
Never.
When the contempt hearings began, did you ever tell Elizabeth Broderick that you were a close personal friend of Dan Broderick's and she had no choice but to appear before you?
I did not.
Can you tell me, Judge Joseph, how long you've been a judge?
I was appointed in October 1979. I think 11 years.
I was trying to figure that out myself. Okay.
I believe I'm in my 12th year now, but
And have you been a family law judge that entire time?
no, I have not.
Can you tell us what portion of that time you were a family law judge?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to this. It's irrelevant.
Oh, sustained.
How long had you been a family law judge when you became involved in the case of Broderick versus Broderick?
No, objectors are relevant.
Overruled, you can answer that.
1987. I think I had been a family law judge in part or total assignment all but 2 years prior to that time.
Your Honor, may I approach the sidebar just to ask a clarification before I go any further?
Sure.
Just one more question at this point. Judge, if you can answer the question, do you recall writing a letter with respect to something about thinking that maybe the file got lost in Judge Murphy's time warp?
I think so.
Do you know what that meant or what you were referring to?
Judge Murphy, I believe, on more than one occasion had attempted to settle either all or part of this case. And I think my assumption was that part of the file may have stayed in his chambers. I didn't know.
Okay.
And in general, Tom Murphy works in a somewhat different way than some of the rest of our judges. He's an excellent judge. I don't want to denigrate in any respect, but it was possible that part of it could have been misplaced, and I was suggesting that is one place that they might search.
Okay. I have no further questions at this point.
For your record.
Judge Joseph, you knew of Dan Broderick before he came into your courtroom, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and you knew what his position in the bar was, didn't you?
Of course.
I thought that there was an objection to the readiness.
So you went as proper direct, you went into the uncross.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
The at the time that he walked into the room, was there a statement made about, "Good morning, Mr. Broderick, what do we owe the honor of your presence here"?
Well, I don't think it ever would have been good morning, because I don't recall that he was ever in my courtroom in the morning. He may have been. I've read about this statement in the press for a long period of time now, and I have searched my memory to try to be definitive. I do not remember making any such statement, but it's been repeated so many times that maybe I should say at this point, I'm not positive. I don't think I made that statement.
That's not an unusual statement for you to make when someone walks into the courtroom who you know, is it?
The statement that has been recorded in the press, I think, is an unusual statement for me to make. And that's one of the reasons I'm telling you, I don't think I made that statement.
So it would be unusual for you to greet somebody such as Mr. Broderick when he walked into the courtroom in a respectful manner?
Mr. Early, generally, I'm not in the courtroom when people come in. I'm in chambers and we begin the proceeding. If I see lawyers who I'm acquainted with in the courtroom or elsewhere, I'll greet them.
So there was
A
no
lot of times in this,
correct answer there. If he would have said it, would that appropriate for you to say that? And then he's like, that would be really unusual for me to say. I'll admit maybe I said it because it's been reported so many times. Oh, so you wouldn't greet them? His answer was great. I'm not in the courtroom when they come in. No, the judges aren't sitting there. They come out. All rise, Gotcha, Mr. Early. He didn't think that one through.
courthouse, when cases are transferred from one place to another, the file is given to an attorney to go into the courtroom. Isn't that correct?
That's correct.
So there's times that you're on the bench where an attorney will walk in with the file. Is that right?
Yes.
Do you remember whether that happened in this case or not?
I have no memory of that.
And the first time you heard that statement, that was in the newspaper? Or did you hear that from Elizabeth Broderick?
No, I believe it was on the media and I think in the newspaper.
That was after the homicide, the death of Mr. Broderick?
Yes, it was.
You have no memory of hearing that beforehand, Elizabeth Broderick bringing that up to you? If you don't, that's fine.
I don't at this time, Mr. Early.
Now, when the case went to you for a contempt hearing in 1987 in February, is that correct?
I'm not certain if it was
I'm
February.
sorry, the first hearing would have been in April 2nd. If I may just approach, Your Honor, and just show them the transcript.
I believe this is beyond the scope.
This is just to the file, Your Honor.
You're asking about the file?
About the file, that's all.
All right.
I believe the first hearing was April 2nd, 1987. That's my belief.
Now, when you read the court file on April 2nd, did you notice anything unusual about the file? Do you recall anything?
I don't recall that, and I probably read the court file in advance of April 2nd. I don't know what day of the week that was, but I often would read a court file, particularly one that I knew was complex, the night before or a few days before.
That's fine. Sir, just to help you refresh your recollection, I'm referring to a transcript of April 2nd, 1987, Your Honor, page 7. If you could just read the bottom, which would
Do
be
you want me to read it out?
to
loud?
yourself.
Yes.
That refreshes your recollection as to whether you had spent considerable time reading the court file.
Mr. Early, that's part of the material that I referred to at the very beginning of my testimony that did refresh my recollection about the fact that I believe I had either the whole file or most of the file at that point in time.
Okay, and you don't remember anything unusual about it?
No, I don't, not at that point.
Now, Judge, from that time through 1988,
Hey, Shenny. Thanks for watching me when I was over with Mo. I had fun over there. This is one of the judges that I guess, got Dan and Betty's divorce hearings. They seem to be not arguing. They seem to be discussing whether he had all of the file or not. He didn't have all. I think he's made it very clear he didn't have it. Wasn't all together. He's on redirect right now, and then after him, there's another judge coming up after him. So I don't know if you should work. If you can, the first witness was kind of a trip. we spent a lot of time laughing. If I said we laughed at her, that sounds mean. We did. But she kind of deserved it. I mean, am I taking that wrong? That they seem to be arguing whether he had the whole file? I don't know what file they're talking about, because now they're arguing about if he says he's had the whole file, if he's acknowledging he didn't have the whole file. He's reading the transcript from the first trial, and he's like, that's what I just said, refresh my memory. Yes, the system and the judges were so corrupt. She was only awarded a measly $16,000. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird to watch him up there because it's weird. Like when he just asked Mr. Early, do you want me to read this out loud? I'm like, don't you know the rules? No. Read it to yourself. Look up when you're finished. That's what they tell you. So I don't know, Shani, I can't answer the question for you. I'm kind of hoping they clear it up here pretty soon about this file.
and we're talking about May 4th, 1988, assuming that this is the last contempt hearing that you heard.
All right.
Okay. That file would have stayed with you, is that correct? And Your Honor, I'm sorry, I was referring to People's 85B.
All right.
Okay.
That file was a file that was assigned to me for all purposes. I went to the juvenile court for a brief period of time. My belief is that at those hearings, I had the file. When the first hearing in Vista was held, my memory is that I did not have the full file. Somewhere between juvenile court, back downtown, and out to Vista, I don't know what happened to the file.
Okay. And you had mentioned that this file, at least at the beginning, was a file that was kept in your chambers because it was a sealed file?
No, I don't think so.
this was kept in the regular course of business?
Yes, there are cabinets in our clerk's office for sealed files. And part of this is just assumption, but I believe that the file would have gone back to the clerk's office and been retained in a sealed file cabinet.
And the last thing you mentioned that there's forms that contemps are filed on, and it's not always that attorneys file back orders, and those would normally be kept back orders in the file itself, would they not?
Yes,
They'd already
they
be
would.
there.
Sure.
Okay.
And when I say that the attorney filed back orders, those were Xerox copies. The originals would have been in the file wherever it was located.
Okay, so an attorney, when he files an order, normally gets one stamp for himself that he keeps in his files?
Yes.
Okay. So even if an attorney doesn't file these back orders, they're normally, in the normal course of business, they're in a court file anyways.
Oh, yes.
So there's not a need for the back orders because they're in the court file.
It depends on what they put in their pleadings. If they haven't included in their pleadings the language from the back orders or a copy of them, then the judge would go back in the file, look up the back orders to make sure that there was a clear understanding of what had been ordered.
I have a further question.
Recross?
And filing the back orders in the pleadings is a matter of helping, for convenience purposes, of letting the judge know what some of the history is in the case. Is that fair to say?
That's correct.
Okay. And I take it, you indicated that you did know that Dan Broderick was an attorney.
Oh, of course.
And I take it that it's not unusual for you to greet all attorneys in a respectful manner.
I hope so. I want to.
And isn't it also true that, again, when you make your decision on a contempt, it doesn't have to do with the history or what went on or may not have gone on in the file. It has to do with the evidence that's presented to you dealing with those specific allegations in court.
That's partially correct, but it's not entirely correct.
Okay. Obviously, if you've been dealing with the case for some period of time, you know some history of the case. Is that what you're saying? And do you recall at all when you looked at the file, do you recall seeing any handwriting by somebody, personal handwriting over the documents?
When I saw the file in Vista, there was handwriting on a number of documents in the file.
Okay. And did you know at the time whose handwriting it was, or?
No, and I don't know now whose handwriting it was.
But this was handwriting written over the typed documents, for example.
I think it was written over and in the margins both.
Do you recall during any of the hearings, and again, you may not recall because you haven't had the opportunity to read everything, but do you recall that there was at any point where Elizabeth Broderick objected to you handling the case?
I don't recall. The reason I'm taking so long is I'm trying to think back. She was represented by counsel at some of the hearings, and she represented herself at other hearings. And there was some dialogue, at least at one of the hearings, about representing herself in what is a quasi-criminal proceeding. And I tried to explain her rights to her, and I believe she understood. And it may have been at that time that some issue was raised, but I don't have a clear memory. I really do not remember.
Obviously, if there had been, when she was represented by counsel, if there had been a challenge filed against you, you would have been aware of that.
Oh, yeah.
Nothing from me.
Any further, Mr. Earl?
Yes, when you say Mr. Broderick, you knew he was an attorney, you knew he was president of the bar, didn't you?
Yes, of course.
And you knew that also that he was on the committee that rates judges for elevations to other courts?
No.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that, and I'm not sure that that's so.
Did you know that the president of the bar is also normally on the judges committee as to how procedures will be handled in court?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Are you talking about the fast track committee?
Yes, for
He
one.
was the chair of the fast track committee. Of course, I knew that. I was a member of that committee,
You had worked with him,
along with many other people, yes.
yes, and you had also, he was a member of Inns of Court, correct?
I believe he was.
And that's working with the judges, is that correct?
It's working with some judges, yes.
The,
Oh my gosh, Mr. Early. I hope you didn't have to be in front of this judge after Betty she's not worth doing this to yourself for. Oh my gosh. The woman not represented. I liked when he's like, I was on the panel. Oh my gosh. He keeps trying to get this guy and he's not gonna get him. But the judge could get him later. I hope not. But he seems, I don't know, maybe I'm misreading him. He seems pretty straightforward. Like if he knows, he knows. If he doesn't, he doesn't. The file was the file from their divorce proceeding from Vista, I guess. But Mr. Early. Mr. Early. Tread lightly, my friend. You still have to work after Betty goes to prison.
And just your memory is that you saw the writing in Vista, you don't remember that when you first got the file.
My memory is I saw it when I had the file in Vista, and I don't remember it when I first saw the file. I believe that it was placed in the file somewhere between the juvenile court and Vista.
That's no further question.
Ms. Wells?
Well, I need a moment, Your Honor, based on those last questions.
All right.
Me?
Judge Joseph, did you make any
I sound tired? Nah. It's been cloudy. Sun came out for a minute, got really humid, then it got cloudy again and dropped the temperature, so I was probably kind of sad. I'd have to excuse myself anytime this attorney came in front of me. Yeah. Yes, we have Vista. The last house they were buying would be in Vista, but I don't know why it would go there, but to be a pain in the butt. In the travel butt. He was saying something about Vista, traveling between juvenile court and Vista. Apparently, maybe that file, whatever it is, because it sounds like it's sealed, was parts of it were misplaced or something. I don't know. I sound subdued. Huh. I don't know. I will try. I'll try to pep up my step. Exactly. It's just a pain in the travel butt. Well, earlier, Bryce said this guy looked like a Betty's proctologist. So, there could be a connection. I don't know. I wouldn't like being a judge presiding over a judge. Like, I just wouldn't like that. That'd be like, I don't know. It would be uncomfortable if I was being like, did I do it right? And that judge would be like, I don't know. Did I do it right? It's like HAASMR. Okay. I don't know, Flash. I thought I sounded normal. Whatever that means. It's a pain. Yeah. Well, I don't know how far that is, but I know out there, like, a 10-minute trip can take an hour because traffic gets jammed up. And you never know when that's going to be. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 4 o'clock in the morning. Does not matter. And it's been quite a while since I've been to California, so it's probably way worse. All right, we got to be about finished with this judge. AJ with this. I've never been to South Dakota. But then I don't know. Do they have accents? I don't know.
rulings with respect to the contempt in this case based on your knowledge and or relationship with Dan Broderick? Is that what affected your decision on whether or not to hold Elizabeth Broderick in
Your Honor,
contempt?
objections beyond the scope.
No, overruled, can ask that.
Absolutely not.
Did you not in fact tell Elizabeth Broderick during the course of one of the proceedings?
Your Honor, I object, this is beyond the scope.
This is proper. You went into his acquaintanceship, familiarity of Mr. Broderick, so
In
it's.
1987, when he first came into the courtroom.
Well, then this is proper degree cross as to whether or not his familiarity affected his rulings. I'll go out, go ahead.
Did I ask that question, Your Honor?
The inference can be made, Mr. Early. I'm going to allow the question. Go ahead.
Isn't it true that you in fact specifically told Mrs. Broderick that you did not consider Mr. Broderick to be a friend on a social basis, that you did not have a special relationship with him, that you had seen him as well as other attorneys in San Diego County, and that one of the reasons that the case had come to you to begin with was that there had been challenges of other judges and that you felt that you could handle this case in an appropriate way?
Your Honor, objection, compound.
Sustained.
Did you not tell Mrs. Broderick that you don't think Mr. Broderick considers this court to be a friend of his on a social basis, and I don't consider Mr. Broderick to be a friend of mine on a social basis?
Yes.
And did you not tell her, I know of no special relationship between us. I have seen him as I have hundreds of other attorneys in San Diego.
I told her that.
Did you not tell her that one of the reasons that this case came to this court to begin with is I believe,
Your Honor, I'm going to object as to the leading nature of the
This is
question.
She's on cross. She's going to leave.
Your Honor, there are case law that it appears that she's calling him as her own witness at this time.
No, this is, she's rebutting the inferences you brought up on your last series of questions. Go ahead.
one of the reasons that this case came to this court to begin with is I believe there had been challenges of other judges and I felt that I could handle this case in a fair and appropriate way. Did you not tell her that?
Ms. Wells, I assume that you're reading from a transcript and based
Yes.
thereon, I'm answering the questions yes.
Okay.
What I can tell you is I don't know right now that those are my exact words. I certainly said something that was very close to that if I didn't say those exact words.
Okay, and I think that's fair. If I could show you a transcript dated May 4th, 1988, the bottom of page 60 through the top of page 61, if you could just read that to yourself to see if that refreshes your recollection about what you told Mrs. Broderick.
Yes, I believe that's accurate.
And did you believe, Judge Joseph, that you could handle those hearings in a fair way, fair and
Absolutely.
appropriate way?
Yes,
Did you feel that you were influenced in any way, shape, or form by Dan Broderick in making your decision?
I'll object, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Well, why did you hold Elizabeth Broderick in contempt?
Your Honor, I'm going to object, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Have you had other divorce cases before you that involved attorneys, Judge Joseph?
yes,
It's not uncommon for attorneys and even attorneys who are considered prominent attorneys in this community to go through divorces. Is that fair to say?
that's fair to say. A number of judges have been through divorces in this county.
And prominent businessmen have been through divorces in this county.
Yes.
I guess I have no further questions at this point.
Thank you. Mr. Earl.
Sir, at the hearings that you just alluded to, where you made the statements to Mr. Broderick, you did make some statements that you were,
I believe counsel misspoke. Statements were to Mrs. Broderick.
I'm sorry, the statements that you made to Mr. Broderick, you did indicate, when you made those statements, that you were going to do something as a request of Mr. Broderick, did you not? Different than you intended to?
Yes. Are you speaking of one specific hearing?
Well, that hearing on in May.
I believe that's the hearing. Yes, I think I did.
And did you, at the time that you made the statement to Mrs. Broderick at that hearing, you'd received some communication from her, hadn't you?
I had before that hearing, yes.
Okay, and in some communications, she had talked about reporting you, making a report about what she thought was a gang rape and unethical conduct, hadn't she?
I don't think so. I have a copy of the letter that I'm thinking of with material from the Broderick case. I'd have to reread it. I think I would remember the phrase gang rape.
She never made any complaints about, you don't remember her ever making complaints about you sitting on the case before that hearing?
Oh, I think she had expressed disagreement with my being on the case, yes. But I don't recall, Mr. Early, I have the letter that I'm thinking of. I don't know if it's the same letter you're thinking of. I could read it again. I'm sure that if she had indicated that she felt that she had been the victim of a gang rape, that I'd remember it, and I don't remember that.
You only remember receiving one letter from her? Is that
Yes, there was one letter that I remember very specifically receiving from her.
Okay, but are you saying that's the only letter, or there were a number, or?
Sorry, StreamYard froze up on me. I kept trying to refresh. I kept trying to wait it out. It's like, you're frozen. You're not responding. You're not responding. I'm like, I know. I did not yeet. StreamYard did it. I had to refresh, kicked me all the way out. Yes. Goodbye. Hello. I'm back. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Yeah. If you can learn it, Shenny, I might just need you to show me how to do it. My nephew is he was an IT guy. He's like, I don't do IT anymore. He's like, there's a lot in OBS. There's a lot. I'm like, but I don't know. I may have to try it. I don't know. It's froze. Sorry, you didn't miss anything. I mean, maybe you could still hear it, except for just a second. But he's off the stand now, and we're getting the other judge. And I'm going to sit here and you're already teaching another guy. I should get ready. Dang it. All right. All right. We're getting the other judge. I believe this will be the last. I don't know if this will be the last witness for the day. We don't have a whole lot left. So let's see what happens.
Raise your hand, sir. You do someone to the testimony about to give and about nothing before this court. Shall I be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You honor the truth and the witness stand?
Morning.
Can you please state your full name for the record and spell your last name?
William Joseph Howat, Jr., Howatt.
Thank you.
Sir, what is your occupation?
Judge of the Superior Court, County of San Diego.
In 1988, were you assigned a trial of in re marriage of Daniel T. Broderick and Elizabeth Broderick?
No, it was in 1987.
1987 you were assigned?
In October of 1987, actually September of 87, I was appointed to the Superior Court from the Municipal Court in El Cajon. When I came to the court, I was given the file, the Broderick file, because Judge Joseph had just been transferred to Vista. So I was assigned the case in 1987.
And were you assigned it for all purposes?
That was my understanding, yes, and I dealt with it as such.
Okay. And at some point in time, were you aware that court file or portions of the file were missing?
Yes, from the very outset.
Okay. Was the file reconstructed at any point?
portions of the file were given to me at various parts during the time that I handled the case.
Did the file that was missing, or the portions, were you able to ever locate that yourself?
Personally, no, but I was told, I don't remember whether it was at
Did you become aware sometime after November 5th, 1989, that the file had been found?
after November 5th, 1989.
After-
Yes, but not during the course of the trial.
Was parts of the file reconstructed?
Portions of what were purported to be the file were given to me at various points during the trial. For example, do you want me to explain?
Yes.
For example, when we were dealing with the issue of closing the courtroom to the press, letters were given to me that had been letters written by psychologists who had interviewed the children, which were part of the reason that I closed the hearing.
Those were part of the prior court file?
I assumed that they were part of the court file from the tenor of the letters, but they were given to me to read and consider. And I believe that they were given to me by Mr. Barry in the court proceedings so that I might consider them, along with my interview of the children.
Okay. At some point in time, did you receive other pleadings from Mr. Barry to assist in hearing the trial?
I can't recall any right now.
Do you remember receiving a letter from Mr. Barry informing you that he was giving you some pleadings for the purpose of the divorce, and that he would, if he located the lost file, would return it to you?
I remember you showing me such a letter, but I don't remember receiving such a letter.
So the first time that you remember seeing a letter from Mr. Barry as to finding the file was
Same.
you remember seeing the letter, is that correct?
You showed me a copy of the letter, yes.
And you did not, that's a letter that you never received?
I don't know whether I received it or not. I don't have a recollection of receiving it. Usually my practice is when I receive letters relating to a file is to mark them in the corner with two letters, RR, which stand for received and read, and my initials.
And at some point in time, was other pieces of the file reconstructed for you at all?
I'm not sure. I would say probably, because during the course of the trial, various things were presented to me. And I seem to have a recollection that Mr. Barry presented certain parts of the pleadings that related to the trial to me during the course of the trial.
I have one moment, Your Honor.
Certainly. Cross-examine.
Good morning, Judge Howard. You indicated that there were some letters that you recall receiving that dealt with the issue of whether or not the hearing should be open or closed. I'm just going to show you what's been previously marked as People's 101, which is a series of 3 letters. If you could take a look at those and let us know if those are the letters that you're referring to.
They are from the people that I were receiving letters from, reading them, and looked at letters from, which were Dr. Sparta, Dr. Roth, and this other person who I was not familiar with and still am not familiar with, Audrey Taryn Phillips.
And but do those letters deal with the subject area of whether or not having an open trial and having the information that was going to be going on in that trial would be harmful to the children?
Your Honor,
in a matter of public hearing?
Your Honor, I object to this area.
Well, the best evidence letters speak for themselves.
Okay. It is your best recollection that those are the letters that you received, is that correct?
I received letters directed to the reader, the newspaper, the reader, from these people and considered them in making my determination to close the hearing.
Are you saying that you can't identify those? If you could take the time simply to,
Sure.
While he reads out Pelltown, we did have all the good stuff back then. And I think the Fonz, aka Henry Winkler, Reef. I don't remember the name of the show, but he has a new show out about all like the horrible things most of us survived. You know, like, what were they, lawn darts and things like that. all the dumb things we did. My brother and my sister and I talk about that all the time. Like, we lived, I don't know how, but we did. And we had fun most of the time. And we were outside 99% of the time. Yep. It's the best. I didn't have a BMX bike though. I had a girl bike. Darn it. We definitely are immune to a lot of stuff. That dirt was delicious. Who are we kidding? Mr. C would have been done reading this by now. He's just probably sitting there like, FML, FML, FML. I retire, effective now. Good grief, how many pages should give him? I can't just L. I can't hit the L and just fast forward on this.
They appear to be the letters that I considered, yes.
and there was an issue that was brought up during the course of the trial that you handled with respect to whether or not the hearing should be open. Is that correct?
No objection to beyond the scope, correct.
Not sustained.
You handled the actual trial litigation which occurred during December of 1988 through January of 1989, is that correct?
That's correct.
And again, was that a hearing in which evidence was presented to you? You made your decision based on evidence and testimony of witnesses, is that correct?
That's correct.
It's a trial, the same thing that we're doing here, except for we don't have a jury, we have a judge who makes the decisions.
That's true.
So you're making a
Your
decision.
Honor, objections to beyond the scope of the direct.
No. Overruled. I think what she's getting to is whether or not the lost file had any effect on its decision, so go ahead.
Were you making your decisions therefore based on the evidence that was presented to you during the course of the trial as opposed to what might or might not have been in the trial?
Yes.
And when you handled this trial in December of 1988, were you a close personal friend of Dan Broderick?
Your Honor, objection beyond the scope of the direct.
Sustained.
Okay, I have no further questions at this point.
Direct. Do you consider the pleadings documentary trial?
Normally not in a domestic case, because the issues are pretty straightforward. You know that there's going to be a division of the property. You know that there's going to be usually a question of the custody of the children. And so for the most part, I wasn't concerned with the pleadings because the nature of the property and extent of it would be presented during the course of the testimony, and was in fact done so.
So there's no need to supply any pleadings whatsoever.
It's a help to the court, sure.
Okay, and I take it that when you read, whatever pleadings you read are not erased from your memory. They're still there.
Well, I don't know. It's been a long time since then, and I've been handling other cases.
No, but what I'm saying is that obviously if you read something,
Objection, leading room.
Oh, that's.
Hey, Zach. Jiminy Glick is the most tame witness we've had today. You missed the best one. She was the first one. Everyone that came in and saw her on the stand all had different reactions. None were good. All hilarious. None were good. And yes, Chachi was way too hot for Joni. All I gotta say. Joni just wasn't that pretty. Didn't she die? Didn't she, like, with Dana Plato or Plato or whatever, Kimberly from Different Strokes? Hey, Sticky. How you doing? I'm telling you, you guys would have loved the first witness. Joni is not the court reporter. I think, didn't she die? Erin Moran? Erin, no, what was her name? Other than Joni. I don't know. We're almost done. We got like 14 minutes. Yes, Shinny, you have to go watch her. Moran, I was right. That is what Gabby said. I think that was Gabby said Corella DeVille. Play-Doh. Oh my gosh. All right. Back to the judge. This is a judge on the stand, by the way. He is the second judge. We just saw the first judge. He looked sad. He did smile a couple of times, though. Yeah, he. I don't know why the defense called these guys. See you, Zach. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you. Because, oh, oops. Sorry, Flashman. I was gonna say, not that long ago, but it was a while ago. I think she may have died in my state. Either her or Dana Plato died in my state in a trailer, like one of them, I think, did. Anyway, these judges haven't helped her. In fact, they've hurt her because they're saying, I had to shut the courtroom down. You know, she's complaining that the public couldn't get into the courtroom because they didn't want the public to see what was happening. He's like, I had to shut it down because these psychiatrists were writing me letters about the kids. I didn't want them in the courtroom. That doesn't look good for you, buddy. Like, you're just get caught in a lie again. Just like the comment that I believe Betty probably pushed out to the media of the last judge making a comment to Dan, and he's like, that would be really unusual for me to say. New Salisbury Steak, Illinois. There cannot be a town called New Salisbury Steak. If there is, Flashman's moving there right now. Yeah, but Todd Bridges is still alive. Yes, Dana Plato was Kimberly, different strokes and happy days. Flashman is packing his bags. He's like, I'm on my way. I have found my dream location to live, New Salisbury Steak, Illinois. That's next to cow tipping, Indiana. Ah, well, probably. No, he probably doesn't want to watch those old shows. I don't like to watch different strokes because I'm like, everybody on here except one person is dead. And the guy, like Todd Bridges, he's good now, I think, but everybody probably thought he would have been the first to go. Except for Adelaide. I mean, she was already on his way out. Dana Plato died in Plato, Oklahoma. No way. Gary Coleman looks like a wrinkled baby. Well, I don't know what he looks like now. You want to live in the mashed potato suburb of New Salisbury Steak, Illinois? I would want to live in the mashed potato suburb. I'll be your neighbor. Hello, June. We're a little derailed at the moment. Wait, you meant more Oklahoma? I was like, I was wondering, you want to live on Gravy Street? Well, I generally eat my mashed potatoes without gravy, so I'll just live on Potato Street. It's one street over. No, it's fine, Battletown. What's up, Tink? How you doing? No, that was hilarious. That was hilarious. Don't apologize. This trial needed it. I said it was a weird day. It's a weird day in court. You can live on Sour Cream Street. You can. I'll visit you. I might get a small Atorade. Awesome. Heard you guys got a verdict finally. That was crazy. Don't know if I didn't watch the trial, so I don't know if you guys think it was right or wrong. I saw the video and don't know. Flashman must not be here because he would have jumped right into this. All right. Yours is like the happiest street. Like you live on Loaded Mashed Potato Drive. It has everything with chive, sour cream, and cheese, but no gravy. Well, good, Tink. I'm glad we can make you happy. There's Flashman. Flashman, you missed it. Shani, there's a town called New Salisbury Steak, Illinois. I said you would move there. And Sticky's going to live in the suburb of Mashed Potatoes, and I'm going to live, we're all going to live there with him. Well, from the video I saw, it would seem like it was not justice for her. In the Fried Ochre neighborhood. Oh. Nah, you probably should just do what you just keep on being you, Shinny. What's up, Ronnie? We're all going to live there. I would not live on Coconut Street. Ugh. Well, Ronnie, possum on a gum stump, West Virginia. What? Ronnie, can I bring my clothes over that need wash? Not the ones I'm wearing, of course. No one wants to see that. That'd be weird. All right, we're gonna. This is the judge. For those of you that just joined us, we just saw another. The best witness of the day. I've said it all night. Is the first one. She was kind of a liar, and she had very aggressive hair and very aggressive makeup, and some facial expressions. Then we had a judge that he was a judge on the Broderick versus Broderick divorce. And then now this is the second judge who is also a judge for those two. And the defense called these judges and they're not helping Betty at all because they're saying they're not, I don't know what the last judge brought to it whatsoever, except to say that, hey, I would not say that. That would be really unusual for me to be like, good morning, Mr. Broderick. To what do I owe the honor of your presence or something like that? He said, for one thing, I'm not even in the courtroom when people come in. And now this guy's like, I had to shut the courtroom down because I was getting letters from people like psychologists telling me about stuff that they thought was happening to the kids in the court. So he had to shut the courtroom down. Nothing like what Betty said. This is not Sarah Boone's aunt. It's her 12th attorney. Coming up. That's what it is.
Proper area, go ahead.
When you read something, that's something that's in your memory at the time that you're doing it.
If you mean, would I consider the pleadings in relationship to the course of the proceedings that I was hearing? Yes, certainly.
Okay, that's all I was asked. Thank you.
Rick Ross?
Did you receive any letters from the defendant in the course of this trial? You recall?
I don't recall receiving any from Mrs. Broderick,
Do you
no.
recall receiving any letters from her after?
No, I don't. She did present during the course of the trial a rather lengthy statement that, if I recall correctly, we made part of the proceedings, part of the record of the proceedings, because she felt awkward testifying.
Okay, thank you.
Anything further, Mr. Early?
No.
Witness excused?
Yes.
Subject to your question.
Thank you very much.
Officer Sweeney.
Oh, I forgot we have an officer. I swear the chairs are extra squeaky today. This is the last witness of the day, Officer Sweeney. If he should ever get there. There he is. I swore he was a judge when he walked in.
You do solemnly swear the testimony about to give and man not paying for this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Officer, could you please have a seat and witness stand?
Morning, sir. How are you?
And officer, could you please state your full name for the record and spell your last name?
William Scanlon Sweeney, SWEENEY,
Thank you, sir.
Sir, what is your
police officer with San Diego,
and how long have you been self-employed?
about 9.5 years.
In February of 1986, were you, I take it you were self-employed as a police officer?
Yes, sir.
And did you have a occasion to respond
to a home on Cypress that belonged to a Mr. Daniel Broderick.
Yes.
Okay, and was that in relationship to an incident of where somebody had hit his front door with their vehicle?
Yes, sir.
Do you recognize the person here at the end of the council table?
Yes, sir.
And did you see her there that day?
Yes, sir.
When you, did you have an opportunity to talk to some people who were present at the time that Betty Broderick was there?
Yes.
Shinny, I do have him sped up a little bit. But why did they call this guy that was there when she bumped into his house? What is her defense attorney doing? Oh my gosh. Is that Nagahide? Upholstery? I don't know if I'm saying that word right, Sticky. And I'm trying to. It doesn't sound good. He does look like Charles Bronson. Young version. Okay. Why? I can't wait to hear what this guy asked him. Okay. Does she actually just love tap it? Ah, Puddle Town.
Did you have an opportunity to talk to a daughter of hers, Lee Broderick?
Yes, I did.
Okay, and at the time that you talked to her, did she make any statements in regards to a knife?
Yes.
Overruled, you can answer that. Yeah, the answer stands.
Okay, and what did she say about the knife?
She said that her mother had made the statement that she wanted to go out to the car and I believe kill herself with a knife.
Did you find a knife in the car?
Yes.
Did you did you talk to Mrs. Broderick?
Yes.
Okay, and how would you describe her at that time?
She was somewhat angry and seemed depressed.
Now, you wrote a report in this, is that correct?
Excuse me?
You wrote a report in this matter, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Was there, did she appear to be upset or angry to you?
Oh, sustained.
Is angry the only description that you feel is an accurate one?
No, you can answer that. Go ahead.
Said
You said
depressed.
angry and depressed. Go ahead. Any other emotions you noted, officer? Do you recall?
Not that I recall.
Did you write a description in your police report in regards to how she appeared to you to be at the time?
Yes.
I'd like to show them the report. Page 4. Do you have that? Thank you. If you could read page 4, the
Just read it to yourself, officer.
second paragraph.
Got it.
Have you read that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does that refresh your recollection as to how you remember her?
Yes, sir.
And how was that?
Very upset and depressed.
Now, at the time that you, were you aware of another home on Coral Reef?
Later on, Mr. Broderick mentioned that.
Now, did Mr. Broderick tell you whether he'd been to Coral Reef?
Yes, he did.
And had he?
He told me he had after I got back from.
Did you go to Coral Reef at all?
No, I didn't.
Did you ever receive a gas can?
No.
Were you ever told about a gas receipt?
Yes.
Did you ever receive a gas receipt?
No.
Did you take Elizabeth Broderick somewhere?
Yes.
And did you return to the residence?
Yes.
And when you turned to the residence, who was present?
Best of my recollection, Daniel Broderick. I think some of the family members are there, and I believe his then fiance was there.
Did you know that that person was the fiance?
Same.
I have no further questions.
Cross down.
When you first arrived at the residence, officer, where was Elizabeth Broderick at the time? Do you recall?
She was standing off to the side of a car that was in front of the front door of the house.
And was it obvious to you at the time that you got there that there had been some significant vandalism to the house?
Yes.
In fact, you ended up arresting her for felony vandalism, is that correct?
Well, I took her to CMH. I did a notify warrant later for the vandalism.
Okay. And there was information you received from Lee, her daughter, about her mother having a knife. Is that correct? That's where that information came from?
Yes, ma'am.
And where did you find the knife?
It was on the, can I refer to my report?
Sure.
I found the knife in the driver's floorboard of the car.
Do you know how long she had been standing there near the car before you arrived?
No, I don't.
Obviously, she had made no attempt, as far as you were aware, to do anything to herself with that knife before you arrived. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
And you indicated that she appeared angry to you. Isn't it true that when you took her down to CMH during the entire drive, she was very angry during that drive?
She was upset, yes.
And she was complaining. Have you described her complaining like a whining kid?
That would be an accurate description.
And while she was complaining to you during the car ride down to CMH, she wasn't crying, she wasn't sobbing, she was simply making.
You want to make any question?
Well, if you got an objection, just make it.
Well, my objection, Your Honor, is I was not supplied with any discovery or any notes.
Assume is this in his report?
No, that is not in his report.
Why not?
I asked you, officer, about taking the defendant to CMH. Can you tell us what CMH stands for?
County mental health.
And that was in lieu of taking her to jail, which was an option, is that correct?
Well, after certain things are brought to your attention, that was no longer an option.
And basically, is it fair to say, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that in any sort of situation as a police officer, when you contact someone, if there are threats of suicide, then you are instructed that to be on the safe side, you should take them to CMH as opposed to jail?
That would be one factor, yes.
Also, when there are indications that the person may be a danger to others, and you are not necessarily going to put them in custody, is that another thing that you take into consideration as far as whether or not you take them to CMH?
Yes.
And you did have a conversation with Elizabeth Broderick where you asked her about the fact of whether she knew that there was a restraining order against her with respect to that property, correct?
Yes.
And she indicated to you, when you asked her, did you drive your car into the house? Her answer was, sure did, correct?
Yes.
And when you asked her, why did she do it? Her answer was, because he refused to talk to me. Is that correct?
Yes.
And is it also true that when you were first there at the house, not after you returned, it was when you were first there that Mr. Broderick told you that she had threatened to go and burn the house at Coral Reef? At that point, he was not aware whether she had or not, but that she had indicated a threat to do that, correct?
I refer to
Sure. I can direct your attention to page 4.
correct.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Correct?
Yes, the questions you referred to,
What you were told is that she had threatened to commit suicide in the past and had threatened to burn down Coral Reef in the past.
My report says that he told me that she had threatened suicide in the past and said she was going to burn the house down on Coral Reef.
In the past or that day?
As my report reads, I really can't recall what was meant.
Recross.
Your report reads that she had threatened suicide in the past and that she was going to burn down the house on 5555 Coral Reef, correct?
Yes,
And he also told you that she had threatened to harm him several times.
yes.
I remember that.
Shirley?
And also, he said he wanted her committed.
Yes.
I'm sorry, was there an answer?
Yes.
Okay.
That's it, Shirley?
Yes.
All right.
He said that he felt she needed help, didn't he?
Oh my God.
He also said that. And said that he felt she should.
That's correct.
Shirley? Witness to be excused?
Run, dude. Belltown, sticky. The next time I hear a Jake break from this day forward, I will always think about the two of you. Thank you so much. And Belltown, I'm getting your autocorrect its own YouTube channel, and we're just going to have you type. Whatever comes out is going to be what it is, because it's going to be hilarious. And it'll be awesome. It'll make us gazillionaires. We'll just do little YouTube shorts of Puddletown's autocorrect. Is it auto wrong or auto right? The dog just busted through your door. Can a Yorkie really bust through a door, Flashman? He just kind of push it. Did he come in and be like, Kobe? Sorry. That's Flashman's dog's name. That he doesn't like. Dog just loves you, Flashman. It wasn't closed all the day. Well, I don't know. Oh, no, you can. No, Tink. You will not leave anyone out. And it doesn't matter if it's just today that your autocorrect will learn to be like Puddletown's, because Puddletown wasn't here one day and Gabby's autocorrect went crazy. It was so funny. See, Flashman, you just gotta love it. Just a little bit. You're totally fine being left out. All right, fine. Okie doke. So that's it for this day. Thank goodness, because we are getting closer. I promise you. We are getting closer to the end. There's going to be a day I'm going to completely skip because it's stuff outside the presence of the jury, which sometimes is I threatened you with Puddletown. Never. Which sometimes is good when they argue, but this one isn't. It's really just a bunch of exhibits coming in. So I've tried to kind of make sure that nothing good happens and nothing good happens. So we'll skip that one. But next week, we should have this done. We should have this done in a couple weeks, 3 weeks. I don't want to say yes at a snail's pace. What's up, Baker? Why are you awake? Gabby's autocorrected enough up. It was just her rum and coke mom juice. She did. She's not even here to defend herself today. She's not even here. Paultown's autocorrect is hilarious. Even when he doesn't correct it. I don't know who Wine Mom is, and I am not answering that second. No, I'm not even. There is no answer. See you, Ronnie. You're gonna hop in the shower. Good thing Adair's not here. He'd probably just pass out. Oh, Wine Mom is Baker in drag. Oh, the images you guys are giving me today. It's awesome. It's awesome. If I need to cleanse my mind of them, I'll just go watch The First Witness from the thing that I read the last day. I need to go. I'll just go watch The First Witness. It'll give me nightmares. There's probably at pickleball now. That's what YouTube does to normal people. It keeps them from sleep. Yeah, Tink. Go to bed. Ronnie is bonita. Don't tell Flashman that, Baker. He believes it. All right, guys. Hey, Sticky, thank you for being a member for 4 months. I appreciate it. Also, for making me always going to think of you in Pedaltown in the future with Jake breaks. It's good. It's all good. Gabby is not scary. Gabby could not roundhouse kick you to the throat. You're 6'2". She's 5 foot longs. That would be an Inspector Gadget leg for her to be able to do that. Or some weird stuff. That's all I'm going to say. I don't even know. I don't know. But I'm going to go. You guys have a good weekend. I hope the weather cools down for you as it has for me. I think we've got a cool few days and then we're going to warm right back up, which is fine. August is supposed to be hot. And that's how I want it. Gabby is a blast. Shinny is a blast. Not scary. Not scary at all. You guys. But if you need some entertainment, go back and watch The First Witness from today. She's a hoot. And she is scary. Aggressive hair and aggressive makeup and all kinds of facial expressions. She had all kinds of names. Everyone had a new one, but she was the best wins for best witness of the day. Other than that, I will see you guys all Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Enjoy yourselves this weekend. Stay safe. Make good decisions, because I always tell you, I only have bail money for Gabby because it's already promised to her. So I can't get anybody else out of jail. So with that, I will see you guys all later.